Hi, and welcome to Module 5 of MAT 131 Digital Imaging 1. In this module, you will begin your first major project for this class. We will be looking at self-portraiture. So you will be creating a self-portrait from an image of yourself using all that we've learned in the class so far. Now, there are some other activities in this module that I want to make sure that you complete. First of all, I want you to take a look at a slideshow here for inspiration. And in this slideshow, you're going to look at Cindy Sherman, who I believe is the queen of self-portraiture. Then I have some tutorials for you to watch. So 100 seriously cool self-portraits. So this gives you some idea, again, some inspiration, how to take a portrait, so on and so forth. So some different techniques to use to create a really cool self-portrait. And then I also included this tutorial on 10 ways to create a self-portrait using iPhones. So again, for inspiration, those of you who don't have a camera, you'll see that there's some really exciting ways to create some self-portraits using iPhones. And then, just like in some of the other modules we've been looking at, I've been adding some Photoshop stuff in here that I think is important for you to know. And in this module, we're looking at Photoshop filters. So how to use Photoshop filters for photo edits and effects. And then also looking at the filter effects reference gallery, so you know exactly what all these filters that are in Photoshop do. And there's a whole bunch of them, and they're really fun. So once you've gone through all that material, then you can begin working on your self-portrait. And here are the instructions for the self-portrait. So talk a little bit about why even make a self-portrait. Some different things here as to why. I hope you read this. And then the instructions themselves. So creating a self-portrait. So again, our first major project, you can take a picture of yourself using a digital camera or cell phone, post-process your image in Photoshop. And I just really want you to get creative using one or more of the 5 A's listed above here: analysis, authorship, autobiography, advertising, availability. So make sure you look at that. Make sure you follow the requirements, because you will be graded on the requirements. So your portrait must be 1200 by 1600 or larger. And I want it to be in the portrait orientation. So that means it's going to be taller than it is wide. Do not send me any landscape pictures for this one. Save it as a JPEG, and then finally name the file as your last name _ portrait.jpg. All these things you will be graded on, so make sure that you follow the instructions and fulfill the requirements. If you have any questions, let me know immediately. I love to answer questions, and I love to hear from you, and I can't wait to see what you come up with in this project.